She's Dana.
And she's Tubbs.
And we're country girls
getting down on reality TV.
Now, you know what? I want to know, what's your definition of a redneck?
A redneck?
A redneck.
Okay. A true redneck.
A redneck.
A redneck to me is someone who you could drop into Afghanistan or Iraq, anywhere, just out of a helicopter, drop them in and tell them, like show them a picture of Saddam Hussein or whoever, and tell them, say, this man right here hates four-wheel drive. He hates beer. He hates rebel flags. And he is directly responsible for Dale Earnhardt's death. And I guarantee you, he would take care of Saddam. You know what I'm saying? That's a redneck.
See, when you said drop them, I thought, you're talking about a country where you don't want to drop, you know.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, drop them over into that country.
Right. But I'm going to tell you what. Now, just because some people are rednecks, some people are good old boys, though. You know what I mean? I think there's rednecks and there's rednecks and there's rednecks. You know what I mean? And, like the Duck Dynasty people, now, they do call themselves rednecks, or what do they call them? Do they call themselves that? And so, you know, I thought, well, they're in the South, though, you know, rednecks, I guess. But Jeff Foxworthy says, you know, you might be a redneck if your refrigerator's out in your front yard and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it just goes to show you some rednecks are making big bucks on it. My redneck wedding, redneck vacation, then people went to the Hamptons. And, you know, the people in the Hamptons all had these ideas about them. And then what cracked me up was the two men that were gay. And they all had a party at the end, you know, and all. And so when they got back home, the rednecks was like, well, you know, they just made me have a whole new appreciation for gays. I mean, you know. And so they found out, they looked at them and they were people. They looked at them as people instead of just putting a label on them. And you know what I mean? So, and they really liked them. So, so I thought there's a moral to that story. I mean, that was a good, I like that show. But they go to the Hamptons, and usually they do end up throwing a party or something like that. And what they'll have, you know, the people at the Hamptons is kind of like, but then at the end, the one, I watched several of them, the one that I really liked was at the end, they were all friends. They just all had a good big time together. But would you consider yourself redneck?
No.
You had to think about it.
I don't think I'm a redneck.
No, I'm countrified. I'm not.
I'm
redneck.
country, but I don't think I'm a redneck. I mean, like, you have to pride yourself, okay? And I pride myself in being country, but I wouldn't say I'm a redneck. And you know, you think about, let's take Alabama for instance, okay? Everybody that lives in Alabama, if you watch a TV show and they get to talk about Alabama, what do they make us look like?
Hicks from the boonies. I mean, from the way down yonder in the boonies.
They make us look horrible.
Many of us are well-educated people.
But you know, you think about it.
Let's
talk about, let's say, we have a lot of transplanted Yankees here in Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we have a lot of Yankees that's moved here.
You know what? You know, they came to the good life here in Alabama.
They did.
You have hit on something.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, Yankees will dog on us about cornbread and pinto beans and stuff like that.
You're making me hungry.
You know, but you think about it. You said it a while ago, Tubbs. You said good old boy. That's probably one of the first things a Yankee learns. Like one of the first few words when they come down here. He's a good old boy. That's a country slang. That's a redneck slang, if you want to call it that. But that's one thing they'll learn when they come to Alabama, that there's some good old boys here. And there's some good old girls.
Well, to me, though, the big thing, people come to okay. We went, you know, a little vacation to Mississippi, and I don't know if it's the time you went with us or me and Claude and Jessica went, but I had a candied apple. No, Sybil went. I had a candied apple for Sybil. and was going to take it up to the room, and I forgot about her braces, you know. So here I am toting this candy apple, caramel apple, whatever, around, you know, to take it up to Sybil, and then got up there and she had her braces on, couldn't even eat the darn thing. But I was holding it, and this lady come up and asked me where I got it, and I said, at the Village Buffet. And she said, the Village Buffet? And I said, yes. Well, then her boyfriend, whatever, come out of the bathroom, and he said, she said, look, she's got a caramel apple. And he said, where'd you get that? And I said, the Village Buffet. And he said, buffet, right in front of my face. Buffet. Now, I'm going to tell you another one. We were at the beach, you know, 2 weeks ago, and met these wonderful people from Michigan, which I'm going to tell a show about. Loved them. And because he had his Johnny's Bulldog, that's a whole big, they drive through Coleman to get Johnny's barbecue on their way to Gulf Shores. And they come from Detroit, Michigan. All right, now, but I said, oh yeah, because I was telling him about me and you, and I said, yeah, I was talking about Alabama Country Girls and talking, and I said, my partner, Dana, and I said, not my life partner, Dana, because they kind of looked at me, and I said, not my life partner, my partner. I said, you know, I'm married to my husband, Kenny, but I said, she's my partner. And I said, well, Dinah. And the girl looked at her sister and went, Dinah! And I'm thinking, you know, to do that right in front of my face.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I mean, and then the man told me his name was Ken. And I said, oh, it's Ken. And he said, no, it's Ken. And I said, just what I said, Ken. And he said, no, it's Ken. And I'm like, how are you saying it any different than me? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now, I would tell you that I always do put an extra syllable or two in every word, but that's just the way I've always done.
Right.
You know. But, you know, they cracked me up. And, you know, where we say, what cracked me up was the sister said something, they said something about pop, and the sister said, no, down here they say soda. Like, you know, she was trying to translate and everything, and I'm like, okay.
We don't even say soda. We say Coke.
Right, that's what I said. I just say Coke for all of it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go get you a Coke.
Yeah.
What kind of Coke you want?
Yeah. But I thought it was funny, but that's what I think is hysterical about everybody's talking. And when we see, you know, hear somebody down here, but it's even funnier, like even when we went to Pennsylvania, I mean, you know, when Jessica had to be put in the hospital, everybody there knew people from Alabama was there because we just opened our mouths and, you know, people were like, oh, you're the people from Alabama.
When I was in Vegas, went up there for a couple of days and was on the elevator, and I told one of my friends that was with me, I said, let's go down and get us a hamburger, then we'll go and hit the casinos, you know, go and do our thing or whatever. And this man and this lady was in there, and the lady looked at me and she said, what did you just say? And I said, we're going to go get a hamburger. And she said, would you please say that again? And I said, let's go get a hamburger. And boy, her and her husband was horse laughing. So, I mean, do we really sound that?
Apparently, when, you know, we're out with foreigners, we must, foreigners from other states, those kind of foreigners is what I'm talking about. Apparently we must, I'm telling you.
Well, if any foreigners, transplanted Yankees are watching us, or if you was to happen to see this, holler at us and let us know what you think about the way we talk. We'd like to hear.
Yeah,
we got a few words for the way y'all talk.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Well, I just couldn't get over that. That's just like Ken, you know, when I'd say, oh, yeah, my husband's Kenny. And he goes, his name was Ken. And I said, yeah, Ken. And he kept saying it like he was saying it a whole lot different than I was saying it. And I thought, now, wait a minute. I'm not putting an extra syllable in Ken. Ken's Ken. I mean, you know what I mean? But I think he was saying more like Ken. I don't know. But anyway. But, you know, I like the way I talk. And the morning meal. What's the morning meal?
The morning meal?
The morning meal.
Eggs.
Oh, for Pete's sake, what do you call it?
Breakfast.
Okay. See, I say breakfast. And everybody says breakfast. Okay. Apparently, you're supposed to say breakfast. I've always said breakfast.
Breakfast?
Breakfast. I eat breakfast in the morning. I don't know what you eat.
What do you eat, lunch or supper?
Okay, I ate breakfast, lunch, and supper. I ate supper at night. Now dinner, if I no, okay, are you trying to be highfalutin?
No, is that not what it is?
Okay,
I'd say,
Yeah.
Mama, what we having for dinner tonight? And she'd say, we're having corn dogs and French fries or whatever.
well, we've always called it supper.
Really?
Yeah, supper.
Lunch.
Breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Breakfast, lunch, and supper. Did you ever have brunch?
You know, every once in a while, and I guess if you eat around what? Between 10 and 11, it's classified as brunch.
Yeah.
Now, I did have, one time we went to Mississippi, we had a champagne brunch. I never had one of those, and it was really nice. Champagne brunch. Those bubbles tickled my nose.
Ugh.
And I guess on that, we better tickle our way on out of here.
Well, Tubbs, it's been good talking to you.
Well, you know what? It's been good talking to you. Are you going home to eat dinner?
I reckon so. But one thing before we go.
Oh,
Do you have one tip for any Yankees that might be watching us?
A tip?
Yeah, like, do you have anything you want to say to them? I'll say this to you.
Go ahead.
Yankees, foreigners, while driving through the South, if you was to have a wreck and your car go in a ditch, don't you panic. Because 4 boys in a 4-wheel drive pickup truck with a chain. Hear me, Tubbs?
I'm listening. I know
It's
where
going
you're
to be
going
along to
now.
help you. They're going to pull you out of that ditch. Now, don't you get in their way. You stand back. They live for this. They live to pull people out of ditches.
You know, you're right. You're
Do
right.
they not?
And they're good old boys.
And they're good old boys.
Good old boys.
Bottom line, they're good old boys. And one more tip. Save all manner of bacon grease. You'll be instructed later on what to do with it.
There's a mega abundance of bacon,
You will be
drippings,
instructed.
grease. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. And we're not having a greasy pig contest, are we?
Because we're from Bama.